their economy is greater than ours. Huh? As a matter of fact, I am told, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that a car can only be on the streets of Japan for 3 years. Something like that. Anybody ever heard that? Every 3 years, that car has to be off the road. And that's what we just buy in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean. Huh? Now, let me tell you something. To the Bahamian people, credit, and this is the truth, Sister Clark, and I think y'all agree with me. And I say it with all humility. I feel per capita, Bahamians love God more than any other nation. I'm being honest. I'm serious. Seriously speaking. Now, I'm not saying that God favors more than the other nation. I'm not saying that. No. But seriously speaking, Bahamians love God. Trust me. Love God. Respect God. But yet, as a Christian nation, so to speak, we're not prospering. How do you explain that? Testing time? Our whole life? That's all it's been. But to be honest, have you stopped and think about that? So our prosperity is relative. It's relative to those who are in our category. That's true, per capita. So we gotta get
you look at us financially, our income level, we don't have some first world countries. It's just that we have come to a place where we are greedy the more you get, the more you want. And you look at it, if you have a myopic view, you look at it only through your eyes and not through the eyes of other people. I travel a lot faster, and I can tell you, I have come to appreciate the city that Bahamians feel too less.
Really?
Yes, because when you see, I just came from down the other day there. Then I look at all the Jamaicans and Trinidadians and the rest of them. Well, just been on the thing for the first time in their life, nearly 40 years old. Wow. We won't pay for lunch with some of these people because they come there, they don't have no money. And we can put it in our pocket to pay for lunch. They scrap into the ride on the bus. I can let it on.
Mr. Clark, thank you for that input. I think we need to look at it relative. See, because I remember some years ago we went to Jamaica to a conference, and believe it or not, a brother from some brethren from Guyana came, and would you believe what the brother did? You won't believe what his brother had named. What his name was? His name was James Bond. And Brother James Bond didn't have no place to stay. This is a true story. He didn't have no place to stay. And he was walking the streets of Jamaica, and a couple of us brothers happened to be walking the road. He stopped us. And he said, "My name is Brother James Bond, and I'm from Guyana, and I came to the conference. Can you tell me where it's at?" We said, "We stay right here." And so he came in, and he told us the situation that he didn't have any money. He just managed to scrap money to get to Jamaica, had no place to stay. And man, the brethren from the Bahamas came together, gave Brother James Bond enough money that he was, relatively speaking, well off. And we said, "Come, you can sleep in one of our rooms. We buy a lunch, we give you money." We took care of it. So, Sister Clark, you're right.
And I'll say this to the pastor. We will not do for God what we should do out of all that we've invested. I met a lot of persons over the years who's come to the Bahamas missionaries,
But you know something, Sister Clark? That is true. Bahamians, unfortunately, Bahamian Christians are not mission-minded. And that's true. The Bahamians are mission-minded because we don't want to do anything that requires sacrifice. We don't want to do it. Yes, Bishop.
We'll have those who come from abroad. When I first started pastoring, there was a lady in the church. I didn't have a job. I was in a great need. And she always complained, Pastor, I can't help you. But when I get some money, I'll help you. And a lady came from the States. She had a revival in the church. And she was giving her hundreds of dollars. And they tell me she can't help you. And the lady, the next day, the lady from the States who was conducting the revival, she went to the phone and called her husband. Said, you ought to come to the Bahamas, plenty money away. That's right.
But another thing too, to be honest, another thing too, Bahamians are more generous supporting foreigners than supporting. I know a lady in Abaco, and this is true. This is a true story. I know a lady in Abaco inherited.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. There's a lady who's a good friend of mine here in Abaco. She inherited a substantial sum of money. I mean, a lot of money. She inherited maybe $100,000. And she said, "What's up with the Benny Hinn?" Now, in my opinion, I would select the most needy churches and divide that among them. But she said the Benny Hinn. But anyhow, that's life. That's such is life. What the Frenchmen say, c'est la vie. Such is life.
Yeah.
But Sister Clark, you're right. I think maybe we're too greedy. We want to get all we can all we get, we sit on the can. But I don't want to be political. I don't want to be political, but to be honest with you, one of the things in our country is that we have no confidence. No. And that is sad. That's sad. As a matter of fact, to the point, have you ever noticed that a lot of our people, when they get up to preach, they switch from Bahamian dialect to American? You ever notice that? You know what they say? If I have the American accent, I'm more acceptable, I'm more influential, because Bahamian ain't good enough. And so it's a slave mentality. And I want to let you know tonight, and I don't mind sidetracking here, all of us, with God gifts and God talents and the ability God has given us, speak out our own dialect and study and be effective.
That's right.
Just be you. At the Family Market Bible Study, I can tell you right now, one of the most, in Abaco, I can tell you right now, because I hear the people say it all the time, and they start talking about local TV evangelists, Bishop Gibson is ranked #1.
Yes.
Because he preaches the unadulterated sound doctrine. Sound doctrine. And guys, everyone, and when it comes up, Bishop Gibson, name is #1. Amen? Whenever we get up to behind this pulpit, let's preach Christ. Let's preach Christ. Let's preach Christ. It's all about Christ and what he did. Okay. During the time of the kings, the tabernacle was replaced by the temple. Cliff, we need you to get the mic on the other side. The court was divided into an inner court and the great court. The inner court was for the priest only. It was completely surrounded. It completely surrounded the holy and the most holy place. And it was itself completely surrounded by what is called the great court. The place where Gentiles could also roam freely, provided they respect the temple area. However, Gentiles were not allowed to even peek over the cedar beam. They couldn't even peek over the cedar beam area. It divided the inner court area. And it was a middle wall of partition. Who got the mic? Sister Rochelle? Turn to 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 36. And then, excuse me, but she can't put this one on. That's coughing too much. Huh? Too long. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 36. And then 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 12. Now let's look at this in this middle wall of partition. You got it?
6 and 36. And he built the inner court with 3 rows of hewn stone and a row of cedar beams.
7 and 12 now.
7 and 12. The great court was enclosed with 3 rows of hewn stones and a row of cedar beams. So were the inner court of the house of the Lord and the vestibule of the temple.
In verse 12 we read that the two courts were divided by a row of cedar beams. So what stood between the court of the priest and the court of the Gentile was a wall of cedar beams called Kerutot. This word is from the root word karet, K-A-R-E-T, which means to cut or to make as in a covenant. Minister Rochelle, please turn